I think if you look at our games throughout this tournament, we've had some shorter breaks, we've had some slightly bigger gaps. But I guess when you come to the middle of the tournament or towards the back end of the tournament, I think it's making sure guys are fresh and ready to go, and sometimes those longer breaks can come at a perfect time. So I guess that's something that's out of our control. Ideally, a few more than a couple of days, but yeah, look, we're ready to go. We've obviously had a few days here, staying here, which has been great, and yeah, boys, we're looking forward to getting going tomorrow. I guess a little bit. I think if we look at the other night, it probably didn't dew up as much as we potentially thought, and we've probably seen that in a couple of our games where we're expecting dew to come in, and it didn't actually hit as much as what we would have thought. So for us, it's about trying to plan as best we can and prepare as best we can, and prepare for all scenarios. If in the morning if it does a little bit, or in the evening if it does start to spin a little bit more. So for us, it's just being prepared for every situation. No, certainly no field placements. But yeah, it was obviously a cool experience for the group to head up there and obviously meet the Dalai Lama. And I guess in this situation where we had a few days off and the opportunity being so close, it obviously came up. And yeah, it was obviously a really special time heading up there and having a look around the monastery and whatnot. So yeah, I think everyone that went will obviously look back, and I'm sure years to come, and think it was obviously an amazing experience.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think any time we play Australia, it's obviously the Trans-Tasman rivalry, which is really special, and I think that's not just cricket; it's obviously for all sports. So, and even in the World Cup and over here in India, obviously a long way from home. It's another special occasion. So I'm sure both teams will be really excited to get into things. And we played them last year, but we haven't played them for a while. Since then. So. Yeah, again, making sure we plan and prepare as best we can, and if we do that, then hopefully we'll give ourselves a good chance at back end of the game. Yeah, they're obviously playing some fantastic cricket at the moment. As you said, they didn't probably start as well as they would have liked, but I think the form they've shown in probably the last three games is, that's obviously the Australia that we know. They obviously fight, till the end pretty much every time, and I guess every time we play each other, it's always a challenge, and I guess they're a quality side. They're one of the best sides in the world for a reason, and you certainly can't take them lightly. So I think we've shown throughout this tournament that we've seen plenty of teams that on their given day can beat anyone. So and Australia are no different. So we're expecting them to be at their best, and hopefully we can play well as well, and hopefully it'll be a great game. No, I don't think so. Obviously, it's a day game, so. That obviously, whether that changes things or not from a conditions point of view, that's probably the only difference. But I think playing here obviously gives you a little bit of an advantage. Obviously, understanding conditions a little bit more and what the surface potentially may be like. It's obviously hard to know what that will be until you get into the game. So for us, as I've said, being prepared and trying to adapt as best you can is sort of what we've been about this tournament, and I feel like we've done that reasonably well, pretty quickly, as being able to adapt to each surface. So again, tomorrow's another opportunity for us to try stand up and do that as quick as we can, and if we can do that, well, quickly enough, then hopefully that will put us on the front foot. Yeah, we certainly haven't been surprised at all. We've seen the work that he's put in day out, and I think the performances that he's had in the one-day game, but also in the T20 game, he's had many experiences over here in the IPL for a few years now. So we understand, I guess, what he brings, and obviously conditions back home obviously don't suit spin as much, and I guess seeing him come here and apply his skill and do what he's pretty much done for us for a long period of time, and I guess it's nice for him to get a few rewards for, I guess, the hard work that he's put in. So. He's obviously been a valued member of the side for a long time, and I guess he's able to bowl in every situation, whether that be at the top in the first 10, through the middle, and obviously at the back end. So he's very adaptable for us, which is great, and I guess someone that can spin the ball on pretty much any surface is really, I guess, vital. And when it is turning, he can obviously get plenty of turn, which is great. So again, another great opportunity for him tomorrow, and hopefully he can stand up again. Obviously Kane's still a work in progress with his thumb, but we'll obviously have a quick look at the surface today at training at some point, and then obviously make a decision on what the 11 looks like. Yeah, I think you obviously, well, for me, I watch certainly every game. It's on the TV. But yeah, I think you obviously see the games that are going on, and you see some of the performances that have been put on the park, and I think for us, we've just been trying to take each game at a time. It's probably been our biggest thing. Every game's worth 2 points, so every game's just as important as the next. And once we do come up against a team, we obviously go through our same preparation that we usually do in terms of scouting and understanding how teams are going and what they're going to bring to the table. So again, Australia's been no different. We've seen them obviously perform well in the last couple of games. So just understanding how they're going to operate, and hopefully we can counteract that as best we can. I don't think so. Not from a middle order point of view. I think batting in the middle order, for me, it's about trying to be adaptable as much as you can. You could be in at 30 for 3, or you could be in at 200 for 3. So you kind of got to adapt the way that you play, as best you can. And I guess that's something about the middle order. You just don't know what situation you're going to be in. So I guess trying to plan for all situations, and just trying to read the way you need to play in that situation, whether you're batting with someone that's, I guess, a set batter, or whether there's 2 new guys. So it's just trying to gauge that as best you can, and understand your blueprint as a team, how you guys want to operate. So we've obviously seen throughout this tournament, guys in the middle order have been obviously getting on with it, but I think that's sort of the situation that they've been in allowed them to do that. So I guess, just as I said, just trying to be adaptable as best you can is probably the most important thing for me. Obviously every team poses different threats throughout a one-day game. Obviously some teams come slightly harder, some teams play it slightly differently. So for us, it's just about reading what's in front of us and trying to play that accordingly. On the other hand, we have the way that we want to operate as best we can towards our plan of over a game, whether that be with a bat or ball. So trying to be clear on how we want to operate has been the biggest thing for us this tournament, and if we're able to do that, then hopefully that will give ourselves a good chance, I guess, at the back end of the game. If we look back to our last game, we did a lot of things right. Obviously we didn't quite come out on the right side, but we took a lot of positives from that game. So if we're able to perform in the same way, then I'm sure we'll give ourselves a good chance being in those situations. I guess it just shows that anyone can beat anyone on their day. You got to turn up on that specific day and put out a good performance. We've obviously seen a few upsets throughout this tournament, and I guess that just shows you can't take anything for granted. I just said earlier that every game's worth 2 points, so every game's just as important as the next. So I think just making sure you're able to prepare and plan as best you can, for every game is vitally important. So whether that be at the start of the tournament, in the middle, at the back end, for us it doesn't change. We're taking every game, just like every game. So I guess it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks to see how things pan out.